Very good evening to all of you. Thanks for tuning in to this Sunday edition of the Urban Debate. I'm Afrida Rahman Ali. We are going to look at the issues that have become stumbling blocks for India's immunization program. From the very first step of policy making when it came to India's vaccination policy, were there some serious error in judgment, lapses in judgment that are now manifesting as acute shortages, owing to which, even though the immunization for the 18 to 44 age group was opened out from the 1st of May, viewers are aware that in many states it has not even started. Some states are in fact starting from tomorrow. Those who have started the program also are not able to vaccinate the people who are turning up in these centers. So there is an acute shortage. In Maharashtra, for instance, the immunization department have told Mirror Now that the vaccine stock in the government vaccination centers are fast running out. Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Thane, Pune, Nagpur, Nasik, Aurangabad, all these districts are facing a huge crunch, which is now being reported. Now, this is not just Maharashtra that we are talking about. Across states, similar reports are coming in. It's the same story, where inoculating the adult population at this juncture has taken critical importance. At this point of time, the vaccination process is actually slowing down, which has raised many concerns. There's a yawning gap between the demand and the supply. And there are many questions that we are asking today, because we know that there is an empowered group of ministers, there are COVID task forces, there are sundry other COVID management bodies dedicated full-time to the COVID management task in the country. So where were the lapses? Why were the demand not envisaged, and why were those orders not made? Because what the vaccine manufacturers tell us is that they did not have those advanced orders to meet the current demand. So that is where the situation is right now. The question that continue to haunt us is that the government of India always knew that the adult population had to be vaccinated. It has nothing to do with whether there is a big second wave, severe second wave or not. The entire population were to be vaccinated anyway. So why weren't adequate supplies arranged for this population? That's the big question we are asking. And let me introduce my guests this evening. I have JVR Prasad Rao, former Union Health Secretary of Government of India, and Dr. Virender Singh Chauhan, Emeritus Professor from the International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology. Welcome to the two of you. We'll also have Dr. N.K. Arora, Executive Director of INCLIN and Chairman of the COVID-19 Technical Advisory Group on Immunization, joining us shortly. But I want to begin, with Dr. Chauhan, if I may. Dr. Chauhan, it's now widely reported that the Serum Institute of India has refused to take the blame for this shortage. They're simply saying that the capacity will increase to 100 million doses per annum only by July, which means that the country will continue to reel under this shortage. Now, as an expert in this field, tell us, what would that mean? I mean, if we are going to continue with this shortage till July, what would be the price to pay?
Well, thank you. I think you laid out what has happened quite clearly yourself. But let me just add on to what you said. I think it will be unfair to blame SII for anybody. There are many issues. So I'll take them very quickly one by one. About a month back, SII said that the raw material that is required for ramping up or producing more vaccine is already choked, because US had put a ban on export of almost everything that is needed for the vaccine except for the bulk material, which of course SII was producing with AstraZeneca. This requires everything: filters, vials, a lot of chemicals, about 25 chemicals that go into stabilizing the vaccine, adjuvant, etc. So that was one layer. Recently, we hear that ban has been taken off. So if the supply chain are dried for the raw material, of course you can't have them. Even if the supply chain was not dried, and now it is opened up, ramping up of a vaccine is given to healthy individuals. So the quality of vaccines that you're going to put in people's arm has to be extremely cautious. And there is no way to rush up your ramp up or produce a facility. So I want everybody to understand, especially the viewer. So if you tell me you take 3,000 or 4,000 or 50,000 crore and give me more vaccine tomorrow, it's not going to happen. It just doesn't happen. And it should not happen. It should not happen because vaccine have to be, and then they have to be checked batch-wise. So I personally think, and I said it last time, that the shot is simple arithmetic. Once you open it to 18 to 45, which is every country's done, all countries where vaccines are there. Unfortunately, we don't have enough vaccines. Like Africa doesn't have enough vaccine. Wherever their vaccines are, adult populations are being immunized. Your question is, so why are we in a situation that we are in right now? So we are, you can simply turn back and say the hindsight, we didn't plan. That's quite obvious. But I find this situation rather uncomfortable because India has the ability to produce large amount of vaccines. And I dare say would produce large amount of vaccine. But I don't think there's any way of ducking. I hear Sputnik 5 first batch of 1.25 lakhs have already arrived. And they need to go to Kasauli for checkup.
Yes, in fact, this is precisely what the courts have also questioned, Dr. Chauhan, that the country does have the ability, we do have the paraphernalia, we have the capacity. But the capacity is not being maximized. That seems to be one important observation coming in. Mr. Rao, if I can bring you into the conversation, it's not as if we are wholly and solely dependent on the Serum Institute. Take the instance of Covaxin. Now, if it is developed by Bharat Biotech with the assistance of ICMR, and this is something that the Madras High Court has pointed out, why are these vaccines only developed at a private institute instead of utilizing the services of the existing government vaccine manufacturing institutions?
Now, you see, the question is the manufacturing and the capacity to manufacture, the supply side issue. There is another very important issue I think we need to bring in. That is the distribution policy. You see, initially when we started in January, it was very sound. You see, initially we started with the healthcare workers. Then we went to the frontline workers. Then we went to the plus 45 plus group. All along, Government of India has taken primary responsibility to procure the vaccine at one uniform price and then give it to the states based on the demand, based on the need. And then if you supply through the government agencies, it is free. If you supply through a private agency, you have a service charge. And that is going on very smoothly. But when you opened it for 18 to 45, suddenly this policy has been changed. And we are not able to figure out what prompted the government from changing this policy. Now you have two prices, one for Government of India, one for states, one for private sector, and also even the quota, 50% is with Government of India, 50% is with the states, and suddenly the states have been asked, okay, you go and procure yourself.
Yes.
Now imagine 28 state governments knocking the doors of SII and the Bharat Biotech. And then what sort of a chaos it would have caused? It's causing already. One of the important reasons why even the limited supply that is available is not reaching the states, not reaching the field, is mainly because there is this logistic logjam that has been created in the whole thing. So unless this is rectified, even though tomorrow you augment the supply, you bring more vaccine manufacturers, etc., as Dr. Chauhan has rightly mentioned, even if you bring today, it will take some time for the vaccine to arrive at the field. It's not going to happen. It's not like a assembly point. Vaccine is a very high quality product. It takes time. It is a lead time. So initially, right now, you have to clear this log jam so that at least people whom you are already vaccinating, your first vaccine, one shot you have given to many people, say above 45. What about the second shot? No, you are reporting a figure of 15 crores have been vaccine shots have been given. But out of these 15 crores, how many have been fully vaccinated?
No, Mr. Rao, I get your point. What you're saying is that without having a robust system in place, the rollout is being done, as it was planned on paper, without checking whether you have the support system to actually execute that kind of a rollout. I get your point, and also what we just heard before you as well from Dr. Chauhan. Yes, about how, you have also said that overnight it's not possible because this is an elaborate process of manufacturing and you can't just, even for a price, get the vaccines overnight. What I want to ask you, Mr. Rao, also is that the Government of India always knew that you had to in any way inoculate the adult population. So far, we have managed 16.9 crores. Of the population that is vaccinated, of the 135 crores. It's just a little over 10%. Now, this is simply not going at a desirable rate. At this rate, how much will we cover and by how much time? We are, at this rate, we are losing the battle, Mr. Rao.
I agree. You see, the supply side is a big problem. We have only two manufacturers. The third one is coming in now. It will take certain time to supply. It is not going to happen overnight. And this is known to governments that yes, if you have to really extend it to the adult population, you need to be prepared with adequate supply. Otherwise, how can you just jump into that group? And that group is what is coming and demanding vaccines today. And there's no vaccine. But in the process, what is happening is even the 45 plus people are getting robbed off the second shot, which is really dangerous. So you are spending so much of money in giving the first shot. And if you don't give the second shot, then you are not immunizing them. So ultimately, if you look at people who got 2 shots, that number is only 3 to 4 crores. So that is the only number which you have effectively vaccinated in the country. The rest is statistics. So this is the important point. So unless
yes, that's another very important point that you made, Mr. Rao, that if you do not prioritize the second dose of the 45 plus population, you are actually going to have to do it all over again. So all the gains that we have made so far will be lost. Now that's a real danger. Dr. Chauhan, I also want to ask you that, because for the sake of clarity.
Let me highlight one more point.
Yes.
Let me highlight one more point.
Okay, please come.
You see, it is the price. The price is important here. Why should have 2 prices? Why government of India should have 1 price and why state should pay a different price? I mean, it beats any logic. Because it's the same vaccine, same manufacturer, same government agencies.
Yes, I totally agree. The fact that at this very crucial juncture, the responsibility has been shifted to the states. That's very correct. That very conveniently, for the age group of 18 to 45, the center has decided that now the states need to come in and take some responsibility. This is the age group where there is bulk of population in India. Just when it was required that the center take this seriously, at that juncture, the responsibility has shifted to the states. The states are not able to cope with it. The states are basically saying that all the orders that they could have made through the Serum Institute have been actually already booked by the center. So on one hand, you're saying that the states should procure the vaccines on their own. On the other hand, it has already been done, it's already been settled that the vaccines that are available are already booked by the center. That seems to be the word that we are getting from the states. Now, I want to bring Dr. Chauhan on one more point, which is very important. Dr. Chauhan, I want to understand from you that when you have a vaccine manufacturer telling us that we did not have the orders and therefore we did not manufacture to that extent, are we to believe that in order, you are not going to have a situation where you create a stockpile? Would you not, in the due process also continue with the manufacturing, or you would only go by the orders? Why I'm asking you this is because the shelf life of Covishield is apparently only 3 months. So we are told that no one would produce anything because it's a sell-by date on the basis of announcement. So is that a real constraint that these Serum Institute is facing right now?
So let me make some very quick bullet points. One of the things that you said, and I wanted to come in, there is no laboratory or government facility where Government of India can make vaccines. You ask, why don't laboratories, or there is no facility. All vaccines made in India are made in the industry. So let's that be clear. Unlike, for example, in China and Russia, the state has the facility to produce. Unlike in Europe, where the government doesn't produce any vaccine, all vaccines are produced by private sector. If you don't place order in time, we can go to the cows come back, why orders were not placed, etc. Orders were not placed. If you pointedly, we are saying we didn't plan properly, you might say that. Actually, when the first wave was on, and we were in relatively easier position at that time because cases had gone down, that was a time, and we can say that, I mean, I've said it, a lot of people have said it, that was a time when you should have ramped up all your vaccination, whether you were going to import them, whether you're going to get other people come in. So that has happened now. As of now, I'm very clear in my own head that the 2 companies that are making, and if Reddy Labs are going to make Sputnik 5, It is not going to happen before end of July, early August, because when you transfer the technology, it is not, I mean, I can go hoarse by saying it's a very complicated method. Even the fastest vaccine that can be made, that own cycle is about 60 days from the time you have sorted out everything. So unfortunately, we are going to look at this position as it is. What I think, even when we have less supply chain was a problem, we knew supply chain is true. The vaccine rollout policy should not have been so complicated as it is. Differential pricing, states can go up. I mean, maybe I am SII, you can all queue up in front of my door, but I don't have vaccine to roll it out to you. So clearly you're going to create confusion. What we do have in India right now, and the supply chain will be ordered will be better in 2-3 months, is the ability to vaccinate people. That I think is already set up, and we should take great pride in it that vaccines can be given to people. But we don't have vaccine right now to give people, and I'm afraid whole of May, most of June, whether we can have more debate as many as...
No, but what are the alternatives then, Dr. Chauhan? What are the alternatives?
Okay, a very quick
also
alternative.
On the issue of waiving of vaccine patents, where do you stand? Because we need to think of solutions now. What I'm given to understand is that there is a possibility, in fact, there should have been some amount of thinking on introducing more vaccines before opening out to other segments. Do you believe that the whole process of prioritizing somewhere has gone wrong?
Let me deal with the patent opening up. WTO will take up the case very soon, and maybe all the patents will be waived. I don't think that is going to make any difference in next 3 months. Negotiations will be very hard, and the company will have to agree. Only US has made noises that they'll support, fair enough. UK will support. This idea was brought up in October, and everybody refused. Let me just very quickly say this to you. What we need is what was being on the plate sometime back. The technology transfer has to take place. Waiving of patents doesn't. I mean, if I have to make vaccine, you give me a patent waiver. I need to figure out all the condition how you made the vaccine. But what will help, like Johnson & Johnson wants to come to biological weapons, I think the vaccine technology know-how needs to come rather than the patent waiver. Patent waiver is a very good idea. But that's only for future, maybe end of the year or early next year.
So that is one solution, technology transfer. I get your point. Yes, Mr. Rao, also the other issue, the other suggestion that has also come is that if, say, SII has constraints, why not make bulk orders to the vaccines like Pfizer, Moderna and Johnson & Johnson, since the government of India has already decided that these vaccines that have European Union approval do not need India trials. So what's the bottleneck there, Mr. Rao?
There is not bottleneck. They have already been booked. You see, we are late. We are late. We should have done this maybe 5 months before. All these orders, I think for the next few months are already booked. So even if you place an order, you are not going to get any out-of-turn allocation. What government of India should do is 2 important things. One is, first of all, do away with this differential pricing and take charge of the full procurement, because the states have enough on their plate. They are looking after people. They are looking after treatment. They are looking after hospitals. They are looking after prevention. How many more things can the state handle? The procurement is essentially government of India's responsibility at one price and supply to the states. Now the question is, you have brought in the 18 to 45. You can't take them out. So first of all, you have to have certain criteria. How much of this vaccine, limited vaccine, is going to 45 plus? And how much of vaccine is going to 18 plus 45? That to which groups? Which priority groups? Right from the beginning, from March itself, from February itself, we have been telling that frontline workers are not just government workers. There are frontline workers in the society also. The transport workers are frontline workers. The road, rail, airline employees. Then the teachers, they are frontline workers. The vegetable vendors, the shopkeepers, these are our frontline people. You are not going to go to a police station every day. See, these are the people with whom you interact every day, and they are in that age group of 18 to 45. So if you don't prioritize these sections and vaccinate them first, if you just say anybody who
I'll take
comes,
closing
I'll vaccinate,
comments now.
you're not going
Dr.
to happen.
Chauhan, do you agree that somewhere in the way we staggered it, in the way we prioritized the groups, the way we identified frontline workers, there again, there were a lot of lapses. It wasn't done with great accuracy. I just want to quickly, for the sake of our viewers, put this out that, when we are going at a rate of 4 lakh plus cases, This is the third day that the country has clocked that kind of numbers. Even if a small percentage of that require hospitalization, let's go with the figure, say 5%, that comes to 20,000 people requiring hospitalization across India on a daily basis. Where is the space? Where are the hospital beds? Obviously, you have stories of people lying on the floors. You have stories of people lying outside hospitals. Now, with this kind of a reality staring at us, I want to ask you, Dr. Chauhan, is it possible that we have a vaccine that intercepts the transmission? Because all this while we are told that even if you are vaccinated, you can still be a carrier. That is not helping our cause at all.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right. Even if there, even with the 2 vaccinations, there could be small breakthrough. These are reality of these vaccines, the first flush of 9 vaccines that have been approved. So you're raising lots of questions. We require a lot of time to explain, but I'll be very brief. The dealing with oxygen supply, dealing with the beds, etc., is a separate vertical, and that needs to be handled by the government or governments in a different way. Even if right now we are very short of vaccine, we can only make available for at least another month. I'll stick my neck out for next month and maybe month later, not more than 60 to 70 to 80 million doses per month. That's simply not enough. So the one choice would be going to the international market. And I totally agree with Mr. Rao, because now Pfizer, Moderna, you can try to buy, but you won't get them, because they have been now opened even for the 12 to 16-year age group in the Western world. Yeah. So there's another pressure on Pfizer and Moderna to satisfy their customers who already made payments. So that's not going to happen. So but there is, maybe this information is out there. The WHO has day before yesterday has already allowed one more vaccine under them, because they are very worried that India, okay, let me just very quickly, India still in absolute number is already number 3 after Russia, after China and USA. In relative numbers, percentage of our population, we are way behind many, many countries. And it is the percentage if you want to protect the population from the virus, from spreading, getting more mutants, etc. So it's like an onion. It's a peel after peel, you have a complication. So as of now, I think we should not waste a single dose of vaccine. I totally agree with Mr. Rao. It should have been rolled out in much simpler method. Government of India or centrally could procure as they were.
Well, that was an issue earlier when there was vaccine hesitancy. At that time, the issue was vaccine wastage. Now we are at a situation where you do have the vaccine centers, you do have trained staff, you do have people waiting outside the centers. What you don't have are the vaccines. Yes. Just closing, I need to close the conversation. Quick last word to Mr. Rao. I'm sorry, I need to bring in Mr. Rao for a quick last comment on how do we now undo this damage, or at least minimize it? How do we close the demand-supply gap, sir?
I would very humbly request Government of India to please revisit their policy. Please revisit your policy. Have one single price, one single procurement agency, take charge of the distribution, and also fix quotas for the 18 to 45 and 45 plus. How many? 50% here, 50% there, or whatever. Okay. Fix it.
All right.
Then keep supplying the vaccine. That is the only way I think this logjam can be cleared. Otherwise, we are getting into serious problem as the day passes.
Right. There must be a rethink. There must be a reimagining the entire vaccine policy, because clearly we haven't got things on track, and at this rate, we are going slow with inoculating our population, something that we cannot afford at this juncture, because after all, we only have 2 options: vaccinate quickly. For that, we need the vaccine supply, or treat COVID effectively. For that, again, we need oxygen, we need beds, we need ICUs. That is also in short supply. So at the moment, yes, it's an uphill task for the country at large. Dr. Chauhan and Mr. Rao, thanks for joining us in this conversation.